When you said cartwheel, I was like, does workers' compensation cover that? I'm not sure.
Welcome to Tavern Talk, a full spoiler conversation where we go deep into the weeds of the Wheel of Time. I'm going to fix my light here because it just unplugged.
It's definitely washing out your beautifully white felt.
All right. Let me.
Not really.
Sorry. Tech. Hi, everyone.
Fantastic.
Tech baby 1 2 3 4. Tech baby 1 2 3. Sorry.
You are the tech shaker.
Exactly.
So good.
Oh, Matt Stagger, what up?
Oh, thank you so much, Matt Stagger. Ryan cannot be here, but I am Ryan's brother, Dan. To my left is Tom from Dragon Mount, Flesh Tom. Well,
let me fix that.
Below me is our favorite friend, Beth Domon. Hello. The Twitch witch who with the mean thumb switch. Hold on, wait, I don't know.
That works, actually.
I like it.
Yeah. But it's not just us. Guess what? Special guest now.
Oh my God.
Hello, London. We have London River.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm fine. I can't find a bottle opener, so I spent the last 5 minutes trying to open a beer bottle with other things in my house, and it hasn't worked out. So, but I'm super good.
Oh my gosh. If you have a lighter, I can do it with a lighter, like no problem.
I don't smoke, so yeah, it's fine.
Candles? Yeah.
You have a table you don't care about.
I'm just doing this sober. I can do things sober too. It's fine.
Not me.
Yeah, not me too. But hey, more power to you.
Yeah, I'm on water tonight.
No,
After we're done, I will no longer be on water.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I was going to say, mine is the color of water. Tito's.
Mine is liquid beer. Or no, liquid bread.
I was about to say,
bread.
Liquid beer as opposed to...
Capsule beer for space travel. We met London and WACON this year, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a convention in Columbus, Ohio. I recommend anyone who likes this community go ahead and explore that. There's also JordanCon in Atlanta, which are
Hotlanta.
Hotlanta.
It's kind of chilly when we're there for JordanCon because it's April.
It was mild Atlanta.
Mild Lanta.
My Lanta.
That's all I was thinking of. Oh, my Lanta.
London, can you please give us your backstory into the book series? How did you get into it? When? How? Why?
I picked up The Eye of the World at an airport when I was like 12. My mom wanted me to be very quiet on an airplane, and that wasn't in my nature. So books, and that's how I started reading it, and then it just sort of like that was like who I was through high school because I didn't have many real friends, so you know.
So you invent them in books, and they live in your head. I did that too.
Exactly. I feel like that's a lot of us, right? I'm not alone here.
Yes.
Not even remotely close.
Well, props to Philip K. Sweet. We talk a lot of crap about some of the book covers, but holy cow, how many people have picked up The Eye of the World because of that cover, that iconic cover with big, tall land horse and little tiny moraine horse.
Mm-hmm.
And the armor Land never wears.
Yeah. I like it. I'm glad. That's awesome. So
I like the audiobook covers, to be honest. And some of the foreign covers are pretty cool.
I really like the ebook covers.
Yeah.
Well,
the ebook, audiobook, they were the same. They made
actually you can identify what, like a scene that it's actually pulled from within the actual story.
Yeah.
The sweet book covers, man, who knows what he was drawing sometimes.
Nobody does. I don't think he did.
Up at a desk. Perrin walking down like a
Rand
road?
looks like Nicolas Cage. Perrin looks like what's his
Wait,
name
Bakari?
from This Old
Was that
House?
Bakari in this book?
What was the guy that did the old
Bob Vila?
Bob Vila. He looked like a blonde bearded Bob Vila on the cover of Knife of Dreams.
Yeah, he kind of had that dad bod. He kind of was letting himself go a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
He had big shoulders, sweet, not big belly. anyways, we do tangents. This is kind of what we do, but we're here for a reason. And the reason is, all right, so I was thinking lately about the magical items that we have in the Wheel of Time. We have a shit ton. Most of them are these angry owls, as Jansen's when he did voice to text and was talking about angry owls.
Yeah,
but they're angry owls, which I love. And so
he's
now,
notorious for voice to text.
God.
There's been times, like most times, if I could decipher what he's saying, I'm like, all right, yeah, like I could reply. But there's been times when like I don't fucking know what this dude is. Like I don't know, I can't decipher this into legible word like English. Like it's all words, but none of them make sense together.
It's fun. No, I
That's my
become like
problem with
Indiana
voice to
Jones. I'm
text
like,
too.
you gotta find me.
Mine is when I try to say my wife's name, I say Erin, and I hear Erin like Erin, but it always says Aaron. It always spells like I have to say
Aaron.
Yeah, if I say Erin, then it spells it with me. Anyway, there's
That's annoying.
there's lots of items.
So what we have a lot of the Third Age stuff is no one knows what these things do, and we're going to get into like the creation of them. I'm a little baffled by the process of creating them. I'm also baffled why, I guess Avienda suddenly was able to identify these things, but up until then, no one knew what any of these things were, right? And so I just imagine, like after the breaking, you have all this stuff that you know is magic. You try certain things. You're like, yeah, I think this might be for dreaming. I don't know. Let me try it. Oh, I'm stilled. Or, oh, I'm horny. Or, like all these different things. They don't know what they do, right? And all right. So let's go into the. I think the accepted tests is misused. I think that this was. They don't know what this thing is for, and they're just using it as like an initiation thing. But London, like to me, this could have had real like psychiatric benefits if it was used with guidance. It could have, like, there's these things that we have that we don't know. No one knows what they do, and they just like reusing them, saying, "Oh, a tin can. Suddenly we can use this as, I don't know. Are you hearing what I'm saying?"
Yes. So you're thinking of the arches, kind of like that thing from the Avengers movie that Tony Stark made, the binarily augmented retro framing, the thing where he goes like into his past memories and like relives his past memories with his dad and stuff, and tries to fix things. He called it barf in the movie, but yeah. So like maybe if you could go relive things in your past and like re-experience them, you can like work through them if it's a psychiatric thing. That's actually the best idea of the uses of the three arches that I've heard.
Yeah, well, and we know that in the Age of Legends there were like mental health professionals, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So it would make sense that you would have, so like that would like, because maybe you could actually go through and you don't have to be by yourself. Like maybe they had a way that you would go through, but you would have guidance through the experience, so that like real time, as opposed to just being like, hey, go face like all.
She'll be back in a second. Her internet isn't the greatest.
She'll be back. Oh,
There she is.
Oh, there you are.
Oh,
Now
but we
you're
can't hear you
muted.
now.
Now you're muted.
She's not muted, but we can't hear her. Like she's not muted in here.
Oh.
Fuck you, tech god.
No, I think we can now.
Hello?
Yes,
Yeah.
you're back. You're back.
I'm so sorry.
Don't apologize.
I think
Internet
it's
is
just
annoying.
like I've got that. I'm working with one bar, and it's just sort of, it's not
It's all good. We'll get
always
through it.
amazing.
We respect your fight.
Okay. Thank you.
So speaking of mental health experts in the Age of Legends, Grendel was the psychiatrist, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
That's
I mean,
that's
couldn't you imagine her using something like this and saying, "Oh, you're really afraid of spiders? Here, let's explore this and actually
flooding.
go."
It's like Maury Povich.
Except Noman Garden brought it up in chat, and it's very valid. The accepted test isn't guided. It does whatever it wants. The test for the shawl is the one that's guided.
Okay.
So that's very valid.
Yeah, but like just because I'm not saying like you're guiding what actually happens, but like because obviously I think the accepted test doesn't decide for itself either. The accepted test decides like, what you're
draws
dealing
from the
with.
user.
So it'd be a good way
Right.
to actually like figure out what it is like that's causing. I don't know. But, like, I mean, I think that it's being used almost sort of correctly. Like, you're gonna find out what you're afraid of, or you're gonna find out what your hangups are. But like, if you do it with a guide, like a person that's guiding you, then maybe it would work that way. So it's
Well,
like,
instead of just dumping water on you and say, "Hey, you're forgiven for everything, and everyone's forgiven for all the shit that happened to you."
Very reminiscent
Yeah.
of the like Roman Catholics washing their feet and stuff like that, or washing away sins. But the idea of well, they do guide them a little bit though, because she hears the Aes Sedai saying, you know, the way will come, but the way out will come once. Be steadfast or whatever.
that's true.
So
Right, but no, hold on, but Nynaeve also was like, "Hey, is this stuff real?" And they're like, "We don't talk about this, child.
yeah,
That
means we don't know.
Our own shit. We all walk our own path. Please don't bring it up. We don't even want to. We don't want to hear your trauma."
that's Aes Sedai code for we don't know.
So that was the perfect opportunity, to your point, London, to actually say, "Okay, let's talk about what what happened, and how did this happen, and why did this manifest from your brain into this Ter'angreal?" Yeah, I think a lot of these things are just grossly misused, and I don't blame the people. It's like if you put kindergartners into an armory, it's, you know, someone's going to get shot, and then they're going to say, "Hey, we should probably just not touch these things. They're just too dangerous." So they're put in an untenable position, but they do use these things somewhat liberally in some areas, you know, including the arches. We also have like the Dream Ter'angreal, where it's like don't use when they were going through, Varen had given them some stuff, right? And a lot of the notes was like, "Yeah, too dangerous, too dangerous, too dangerous, too dangerous, too dangerous.
Yeah.
Don't use." One made balefire and stuff.
Last tested by Corianne and Nadil.
Yeah.
Why would they have something that makes balefire?
Because not everyone is strong enough to make it. So during the Age of Legends, right when they first discovered the weave, and they were like, "This is the nuke that we need," they probably immediately ran and made a balefire stick so that the weak Aes Sedai could still use it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's a fair assumption.
Yeah, I mean that's my assumption.
Or it could have been it could have been created by one of the dreadlords and somehow came into the. I mean, it very
Same
well.
difference.
Yeah.
There's no rule that like says that only good people can make Ter'angreal. So
Yeah.
Exactly.
Just because it was an Aes Sedai doesn't mean that they were in Black Ajah. But
they
I guess
Black
they
Ajah back in
not
the
during the
Age
Age
of
of
Legends.
Legends. I know.
Thank you.
But
So
they had to have made it during the Age of Legends, like after the breaking or after the bore was drilled, because that's when they discovered the weave. So
Right.
Yeah. Oh, let me ask about the oath rods. We know of at least 2 oath rods, and they both have numbers. One has the number 3, and one's like 103.
that's just how many there were.
Well, yeah. That so. So, London, what do you think the oath rods were actually like designed for? If we have hundreds of them, at least, what are they?
We knew what they were for.
I mean, but why have so many? I guess then, And
there's a lot of jails. There's a lot of people.
Do they all
man.
do the same thing, or are
Did we ever find out like if a different oath rod can be used to free somebody or not?
I don't remember
Or
if
does it
the
have to be the
Aiel-
same one? I don't think they ever. I think that Galena was worried that the one in the tower couldn't free her of the oaths, but I don't from that she made to the Aiel. But I don't think we knew. So maybe you have like a ton of them, but maybe it was meant to be temporary.
They would loan them out to the different courthouses when they would have prisoners that they needed to.
Or you have somebody that's like under questioning or something. It would almost be like a lie detector or something like that. Who knows? But like,
who's the Aes Sedai accountant that had to follow around?
What?
Like looking for the oath rods. Oh, oath rod 68 is missing. 68. Who took 68 out?
But yeah, I feel like maybe you would just have a lot of them just so that like you knew that there were plenty to let people go so that it's not permanent.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
you know what? That would be kind of shitty to have those
for it to be permanent.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like I that's another thing I never thought of. Like if they would make the prisoners, instead of having prison sentences, they would be like, all right, you have to swear to do community service 5 hours a day every day for the next 5 years, and not do the thing that you did or whatever. You can never steal anything ever again. And then in 5 years they take the oath off you. That's a good
theory. Well, yeah.
I like that.
And you guys.
That's my new headcanon, and in fact now I like that.
And I've often thought how the three oaths are surpassed by the dark oath that these people take, but maybe there is an oath rod that they have, a dark oath rod. I don't know.
I think they just use the oath rod that's in the tower.
Yeah, I would assume.
They use that one to remove the old oaths, and then they use the same one again to retake the new ones. I don't think there would be any reason why they would need a different oath rod for that.
I always thought it was just kind of in a special place that, I don't know. Yeah, like they put the oath rod.
I mean, it's in a special place in the tower.
Yeah.
They actually, so what did they say? The lightning lance, they actually don't only work for channelers. They could be used on other people as well. They just have to be activated by a channeler. We don't really know. They don't use them that often for, like, I don't think they've ever used them in the books on a non-channeler, but like, we don't know what they would do to their lifespan. It would make sense if it shortened their lifespan too, but.
Can we talk a little bit about like how these things are created? And I mean, besides just saying magic, magic. I mean they are created with magic, but how do you imbue something with a power that just can sit? I mean, like the idea of like the access keys to me is awesome, right? But how theoretically, how does that work? Are we blasting weeds and then tying it on? Is it like, just in general? It just seems weird. Like I can't figure out how these things actually like keep their magic. I guess
magic.
Yeah,
right. I mean, like there's no. Do you want a real explanation? Because there is.
I mean something. I said besides just saying magic.
But I mean, like, there isn't a real, because it's not real and you can't really do it. So
yeah,
it's essentially like a battery, but the one power.
Or maybe it's almost like maybe when you're finished kind of creating the item, then it's almost similar to the way you tie off any other weave, but it's more permanent. But like it's just like it would be tied off indefinitely.
And it makes sense that it takes a great amount of power and a certain talent to make them, because there's like it's special to imbue an item with a weave that just lasts forever, pretty much. Like they have Ter'angreal and items of the one power, like the portal stones are arguably a Ter'angreal, and they've been around since before the Age of Legends, and they still function. So like that's kind of crazy. Yeah. Like, do they degrade over time? It would seem no, but.
What would Perrin's hammer be? Is that an Ter'angreal?
Technically a Ter'angreal.
Ter'angreal?
Yeah, I think all power wrought weapons are technically Ter'angreal, and Perrin's actually has the fire like enchantment on it or whatever, right?
How D&D of you.
I know, right? I couldn't resist.
Well, hold on. So all power wrought. So there were Heronmock swords that were power wrought, but they wouldn't break. But are they Ter'angreal, you think?
Technically?
I don't necessarily think that something's
I
power
don't think
wrought is a
so.
Ter'angreal, because Quendiar is not a Ter'angreal, and that's power wrought. It's just a different thing. I don't.
Power, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think just because it's created by the power doesn't necessarily mean that its use is to, because really a Ter'angreal had a single purpose.
Yeah. But, well, or at least
specific
more
purpose.
multiple specific functions, I think, is the definition of Ter'angreal. Yeah, so you're right. So I guess you would just call.
I was first with the power, maybe more than like being a Ter'angreal. It's just like.
No, yeah, I think Ter'angreal are like the definition of Ter'angreal in the books is like items made of the one power that have specific purposes. But a sword, I guess, has a specific purpose. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Not really.
Yeah.
It doesn't do anything other than not get dull.
Yeah, does it continuously use the one power for that, or is that just what, like, when it was being made, it was reinforced, so it almost is like Quendiar?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like they don't really talk about that.
Because Ter'angreal, I always feel like they actually use the one power even every time they're in use. But I don't feel like a power wrought sword does. I feel like it just it's just like,
no, you're right. You're definitely
better.
Right. Yeah. They don't do anything with the one power, though. They are as resistant. I think, I don't know. Technically, would they be Quendiar because they resist the one power like Quendiar does? They can't be broken except Rand breaks, them, and Quendiar breaks. But it's the same as Quendiar. Like they're super sharp and
they're forged differently, though. So I think that's the difference.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah,
that's the difference.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that this was still a steal. Oh, hi, Dex. So let's talk just a tiny bit about. There was Egwene has hold on. Aviendha has the talent to identify. And Egwene. Oh no, Elaine is able to create them.
Correct.
But she learned it, right? It wasn't a talent.
It was a talent.
She has a talent.
She's
learning to manifest the talent, but she has a talent with a capital T.
Okay.
No one taught her. No one knows how to do that. She was the first person in thousands of years to do it.
But
the first person.
Go ahead.
Kind of. Well, obviously the Shan-Chan, like the Damani, can make Ter'angreal. Otherwise, there wouldn't be so many.
Can they make new Adam
laying around?
I'm sure they can make new Adam. Yes, because they didn't have.
They even mention it that Egwene could maybe make new Adam. I thought in the book
if they teach them, right? Okay, yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah, so
because she has an affinity with earth and metal.
Mm-hmm.
So nobody outside of Shan-Chan for thousands of years can, but they seem to be able to.
And the Aes Sedai that went over there to make them in the first place would have been when Arthur Hawkwing was.
Okay, so it'd be like 1,000 years.
Yeah, like 1,000
right.
years. Yeah.
But when we're talking talent, it's not necessarily you have to be able to channel the one power in order to have a talent. It's possible that we've had people who had the talent to see TAVERN glow, to be able to identify Ter'angreal, to even create them, but they just weren't magical. They just lived on a farm and it never manifested for anything. But we assume that the talent has probably still been out there and just not utilized or recognized. I mean, right?
I mean, it's possible. Unreliable narrator from the books talks about how things that were from the past are being, forced out into the pattern again. These abilities that people that have been lost for centuries or thousands of years are now all of a sudden, appearing in people. So it's entirely possible. Yeah. I mean, not just that, but, the Aviendha being able to pick up a Ter'angreal and give a general description of what it's for. Mm-hmm. And
I mean,
Yeah,
TAVERN pulling all the talents back out
Oh,
into the
yeah,
pattern.
possibly.
Yeah.
Or the pattern just doing it. I don't think it had to be TAVERN doing it, just the pattern throwing them out there.
Oh, see, that's funny. I think that people are born all the time that can recognize TAVERN, but they just never see one, so they
Possibly.
just don't know.
Well, that's tied to the one power as well. The TAVERN seeing. When Suan loses the ability to channel, she loses the ability to see TAVERN, and then when she learns how to channel again, or when she's healed, she gets it back. They specifically talk about it too.
Oh, I forgot.
The only one that's not tied to the one power seems to be Wolfkin and Sniffing, which is weird.
Dreaming.
Oh, okay.
And Dreaming too, yeah, I guess, right? Yeah, there's
Yes,
non-channeling
there's not a
dreamers, yeah,
channeler,
yeah.
correct.
And maybe Prophecy, I don't know. I guess Dream Prophecy maybe, but we don't see anyone else do that really, except Perrin.
Yeah. I mean, but why would the pattern even mess around with little scrubs? I mean, if they ain't gonna matter, I ain't giving you a talent.
So if there's a Ter'angreal that could give people the talent of entering the dream, do you think that there may be a Ter'angreal that could give people the talent of, say, sniffing or being a wolf brother, if it's like researched enough? Is that a possibility?
That is interesting.
I don't think it would give a person the ability to be a sniffer, but it would give you a tool that would act very similarly to a person who you can't imbue a power on somebody with an object. It doesn't
the dreamers are able to enter the dream.
Well, but that's they're given. They don't have an object that gives them that talent unless they're using a Ter'angreal.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. A Ter'angreal.
So, can you create? Are you saying you can create a Ter'angreal?
Can you? That's my question. If you could create a Ter'angreal that gives people the talent to enter the dream world, which is talent, and then manipulate the dream world and act just as a dreamwalker does in the dream world, can you then maybe create a Ter'angreal that also gives you other talents?
Possibly.
Like sniffing violence.
Like if you put this ring on and now you could see TAVERN.
Possibly.
I never thought of it until just now, and that would be interesting. Maybe like a little wolf pelt belt, and you wear that, and you get wolf brother.
No. No wolf pelts. No.
My evil Perrin had a wolf pelt.
Of course he did. Not surprised.
That's because he was a dark hound.
I want to know if we can get a Ter'angreal to recreate Bella.
Nothing can. That's impossible.
That was a segue for.
I mean, we can probably yeah.
I was a little worried about him.
How did they know how to use why did the Bowl of Winds work?
Why did it work?
That's what it was made for. It was made for the weather.
That's what it was made to do.
I mean, so we have a vessel that you throw enough one power into it and it just changes what the dark one did. It seems
that's not how it worked though. It wasn't just throwing the one power into it. It was done in a specific way, and the only people who knew how to do it were the sea folk.
Yeah, the sea folk led that circle.
One person.
Yeah.
Led that circle.
Yeah, someone very skilled in manipulating weather. I mean, we know they manipulated weather to be perfect all the time in the Age of Legends. So having several of those bowls of wind, say, like spaced around the world, so that they could be like, "Oh, a hurricane's coming." No, it's not.
Oh,
a tornado's going to brew. No, it's not.
So this was one of several, maybe.
I would think so.
I would assume so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it does work. Like that one bowl does affect the whole world. So maybe one, which is crazy. Like that's insane to me. But it fixes the weather everywhere.
See, I was going to say, did Shara suddenly get super hot and sweltery? because Randland is now all pleasant, but it just pushed the Darkwind stuff over
That would be funny.
that way.
I'm pretty sure it fixed it, but that would be funny. Like it just pushes the problem to the next hemisphere over.
Yeah, not my problem, not my backyard, buddy.
Just throw the garbage over the fence.
Global warming here in Michigan? Huh.
No, it's just over there. In the United States.
No, come on.
That's fine.
Yeah. What are your guys' favorite Ter'angreal?
Favorite Ter'angreal?
Or Angreal, Ter'angreal, magical item. Let's say that. Because I'm throwing the dagger, I'm throwing the hammer, I'm throwing anything that like magic is in that I don't understand how magic like resides in something. So I'm throwing it all in there.
There's so many really cool ones. Like
Shao Ghul, throw that in there.
I'm gonna say Matt's fox-headed pendant is my favorite Ter'angreal.
It's pretty cool.
Or the library one.
The Kindle.
The Kindle. Yeah, that is pretty
Fat
cool.
Man Kindle. Yes.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yes.
I don't like the chair of remorse, but I like that
Oh,
it's called the chair of remorse.
Oh, the chair of remorse. That's
like
the one that they had in the basement, right? That they put what's her name on? Talon, was that her name?
I think so, yeah.
Who was the brown Aja, and she was really a dark friend and black Aja, and yes.
I like that one. There's some really cool Ter'angreal that you see in passing in like the storerooms in the White Tower that I really want to see. The ones that always stick out in my head are the gauntlets. You see like gauntlets with like there's like a gem or something recessed into the gauntlets. I like those. But like the ones that we know of that have uses, I think the twisted doorways are my favorite. Because they're the most interesting, at least to me.
See, all right. So those are official Ter'angreal, correct?
100%.
Yes.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. See, all right. So what do you? All right. So what do you think the relationship then between early Aes Sedai and this whole Phantom Realm was? I mean, were they? Obviously they knew about, there was an agreement made.
Right.
I mean, do you think they visited there often? What do you think?
I don't know, honestly.
Yeah, I think that agreement is older than the Aes Sedai of the Age of Legends. Like I'm pretty sure the red twisted doorways are like a remnant of a remnant of a remnant.
Possibly.
Oh, yeah. What? So it was even baffling to the Age of Legends.
Yeah, because they weren't doing interdimensional travel in the sense of going to other dimensions that were inhabited. They were doing things like creating vacuoles to step outside of the pattern so that they could like do tests and make, what are the bags called? The bag, bags in D&D that are bigger.
The bags of holding?
Bag of holding?
Yeah, they make that's what they made. They made the little the capsules where they stored all the art and
the stasis boxes.
Yeah.
So like that's a bag of holding. If you don't even try. That's a bag of holding. But like, but I don't think they were traveling to other dimensions like with the Elfin and the Eilfin. Like I think I'm 90% sure that they say that that's a remnant left over from before the Age of Legends. Like there's the red twisted doorways, the
portal stones,
and the Horn of Valir are all there may be others, but I know that the portal stones and the horn, and I'm almost 100% sure the redstone doorways were as well. Huh. That's funny.
DBZ capsules.
Was the dragon flag a Ter'angreal of some sort, do you think? That just wasn't utilized, perhaps? I mean, why?
Say again?
The banner, the dragon banner.
I think that's another power rot item.
Yeah, I think they made that. I think they just made that.
Yeah, I don't think it's a Ter'angreal.
Yeah,
okay.
That's just an item that they made for Loose Terror. Though it could be kind of like the Crystal Throne in the sense of like when the banner is flying, you feel like awe or something. Maybe like it could be something like that.
Morale boosting.
Yeah. I mean, like it's like a standard in like, those, any kind of game that has like troops and stuff where you place a standard on the ground and everyone around it gets inspired. I could see it being something like that. But if not, yeah, it's just an item made with the one power. Kind of like, how they like the tattoos that they give the clan chiefs and stuff, they're like metallic and shit. So the stitching and the threads in the banner are probably made kind of like a fan cloth. The warder cloaks are made with the one power. Those are Ter'angreal, though. I would
Yeah,
say.
those are Ter'angreal.
Yeah. But they are made with the one power, so maybe there's something to get really awesome looking thread.
The Horn of Lear is not a Ter'angreal, right?
No, it is.
It is?
I mean, it's an item of the one power that has a specific purpose.
Yeah. But that's the thing. I mean,
does it use the one power? We don't know, actually. So technically, the answer to that is we don't know.
Channel.
We don't know if it uses the one power. We don't know if it was made with the one power. So technically, we don't know.
Yeah. Now, the ruby hilted dagger was...
It is made with a Ter'angreal, but does that mean it is not in itself a Ter'angreal? I would say each fan cloth cloak is a Ter'angreal in and of itself. Because it has a specific purpose. It does a thing. Which is what a Ter'angreal is. It's an item crafted with the one power, which is what they are.
Although it might not be, because fan cloth in the Age of Legends was just a fashionable item.
Yeah, but it did the same thing. Like it changed colors. Yeah. It used the one power to do a thing.
Is a golem a Ter'angreal?
Then that's like saying
he's a construct. That's different.
Yeah, it's different. Trollocs and Murdril aren't.
Yeah, he's an object made.
Had to deal specifically with one power. Like, I guess I'm confused by just how vast this definition is.
Well, the word for word definition. Let me look it up. Is an item made with the one power that performs specific functions. Object of the one power. So I would say a golem isn't an object.
Okay. Yeah.
And they're probably not just made with the one power. They're probably made with some twisting of the true power and or just being made in Shal Ghul somewhere that gives them their horrible properties,
Yeah. Let me remind people who are watching to, if you haven't already, please hit the thumb to like and subscribe. We do this every week. We didn't even get to, I was going to ask London 5 quick questions. We were going to get to be best friends. So
her internet sucks.
Getting her back on.
Yeah, her internet was not good. Today.
But yeah, we gotta get to know her a little bit better. Okay, so Angreal, we know of the sea folk know what Angreal are. The Shanshin know about the callers. What other thing do we have that are outside of the White Tower's purview that use these magic?
Farmatting's channeling alert system. I can't remember what it's called. Is it Ter'angreal?
That's also a Ter'angreal, yeah.
That's the first one that comes to mind.
I think my favorite, I didn't mention, my favorite item is what Cadswain wears in her head. She has like 10 little different.
Oh, yeah, the paralysis net.
Yeah, she
has, there's a lot of things.
There's a lot of them in there, yeah.
She's got everything.
Yeah, her paralysis net.
Ter'angreal.
There are several Ter'angreal and Angreal and Wells in that thing.
Yes.
But yeah, the Aiel, do they use, if you're not a Dreamwalker, they don't have anything to guide, to use, correct?
No, they don't have any items.
I don't think they would have items because the wise ones know the history of the Aiel, so they wouldn't have touched anything in Ruidian because of their broken oath to the Aes Sedai.
I doubt any of the any of the. I don't think any Aiel probably uses any. The only Angreal, Ter'angreal, or Sangreal that an Aiel would end up gaining would be one that got traded to them. But like, you know, that would have to be an accident.
Right. It
Or if they
be
stole one from Kyrian or something, or, you know, well, stole, you know, they took
their
fifth.
Their fifth. Yeah.
Spoils. They took their spoils of war. Glenn, I would say yes, because it performs a function. So I would say yeah.
I would agree with that as well. And again, that's like a little magical bag of holding for power.
It's an interesting concept, though.
Just in case I can't touch it, I'll just reach it. Kind of cool, but it may be the same technology that held the true power, pure sidene, in the Eye of the World. That was considered a well as well, wasn't it? Called that?
No, my card.
That would be funny to see, actually. Rand just, or Luce Theron, or so the guy, like, all I'm gonna picture now is the guy from Winter Dragon walking around with like a hairnet and like earrings and nose rings. See, we can't. It's hard to talk about the things from Eye of the World because Robert Jordan hadn't invented the rules for everything yet, which is why they never speak of that again. You know what I mean? The physical, physically having like sidene that is physically in the world. I don't think that's a. I mean, I guess it could be just a well that is visible, but like the metaphysics and you know, weird not real rules, they just don't work with.
Well, if we're able to store power, though, as we do in the Paralysis Net, and Glenn makes a good point. Could a shielded person access the one power they kept in a well?
No,
I would say no as well,
because you have to be able to channel.
Yeah.
And
so that's the difference between some that that you have to channel to use and some that you just have to hold, like the ring, the stone-flecked ring that sends you off into Dreamland. But they're both Ter'angreal, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
If it's
not a like an Angreal or a Sangreal, as in something that increases your ability to use the one power, it's a Ter'angreal. If it's an item that is made with one power that performs a task.
Okay, yeah. So it doesn't need anyone with the one power. So like the horn, you could blow the horn. It's made. It's a Ter'angreal. It was made for this.
We don't know. That's the one we don't really know. Mm-hmm. Like maybe the horn was like created by the creator at the time of creation. You know, like.
But that's in like Ter'angreal having purposes that you don't need to channel into it is heavily implied, because Luce Theron talks about it, about how, you know, Ter'angreal were everywhere for everybody to use in the Age of Legends. It was to help make people's lives better. Yeah. And so show cars, show planes, shock lances. They were all derivatives. Yeah, they were all derivatives of the one power, and it was just a matter of a way of life for people in the Age of Legends. And even if you couldn't channel, you still had ready access to materials that were made with the one power to make your life easier.
Yeah.
But you also have crystal thrones that make you feel awe. You have, I mean, there's some really weird things here. Like if all these powers were available to all in our society, they would be manipulated and used for nefarious purposes.
I'm sure they were then too.
So so not all Ter'angreal or Angreal are benevolent.
Well, no, but
tools.
It's just an item. What you do with the item is the intent of the person, right? That's a tool. It's a tool, like what Tom said. It's a tool, and so. It's the human that makes the decision how to use said tool.
Exactly. I'm sure you weren't you couldn't just use Ter'angreal that had like major functions just willy-nilly, like whatever you wanted to do with them in the Age of Legends either. Mm-hmm. Like, this Ter'angreal heats up metal so that you could forge it. Like, I'm sure you couldn't just walk around with that and do whatever you want with it. Like you think of it like getting a license to operate heavy machinery. Like I'm sure there were probably criteria to be able to use some of the more powerful, higher functioning Ter'angreal and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah. That's so like all the policemen have their own little fat man Angro, that they're given part of duty.
Something.
Yeah. Okay.
Imagine the tasers back then. Jesus.
We can talk show stuff because our friend Jansen is not here today. So let's go ahead and talk about how these magical items are going to be used in the show. I for one think that Kalendor is going to be Rand's like real sword, which he's not just going to plant it. Once he gets Kalendor, that's going to be like his sword. And that's a change that I'm fine with. But what kind of like will there be all these magical items around? And yes. Okay, yeah, let's talk about it.
I don't think it's going to be as prolific as it is in the books. I think they're going to simplify things. I don't know that we're necessarily going to see a lot of random outside things brought to light.
I think they will, because it'll be something that they can market. Like, Ter'angreal earrings and Ter'angreal.
Hi, we're talking about Amazon here.
Yeah, well,
they haven't marketed shit for 2 years. They're not going to start with season 3.
They might. But they're also just cool things to have. Like, and it's easy to be like, oh yeah, there's a ring right there. It can make the room hotter. Whatever. Those are they're easy. But
I don't think so though, because the people who have the one power can already do those things without those things, and we don't focus on a lot of people who don't have access to the power in the show. At least not now. Aren't in proximity of people who have access to the power in the show.
All we've seen is that Quandar is pretty valuable. That's the only thing that we've seen of any of them.
They've talked about Sangreal, and Nomengarden's right. They haven't mentioned Angreal and Sangreal, which they don't really need to. Like, there's just different powered Sangreal. Like, whatever. That makes sense.
Right. And I think we'll see more Angreal. I think it's going to be talking about Kalendor, I think Rand's going to find Kalendor in the glass arches. That's where I think that it is in the purpose. And it's almost like a sword in the stone moment, except in the Stone of Tyr, he's going to go through the glass columns and he's going to come out with Kalendor. And that's going to announce him to that eel. That's going to be his. But anyway, that being said, I don't think seeing a whole bunch of different kinds of Ter'angreal is going to be a big thing in the show. I do think we'll see access keys, hopefully, because they're used in such a monumental way.
Yeah, they got to have the nukes. Like those are the MacGuffins. Like they need
right.
It could be that they remove a lot of the Ter'angreal. Like there's an argument either way. I hope they don't. Like I hope we get lots of little knick-knack Ter'angreal like around that they find and get to use that, because like the idea, like especially because they're making the group is very much so much like an adventuring party, and like one of the cool things that everyone wants is magic items. So like you would want people to get things like that. I mean, Perrin doesn't really get anything until way later, given he is a wolf brother. Matt gets Ashendari, and he's probably going to get that in season 3, knowing that they're going to jump to book 4 for season 3, and Rand can channel. So like I would at least like Perrin to get something, like an item of the one power that is something, maybe a piece of armor, maybe a fan cloth cloak or something that is of the one power. I would think that we would see more, maybe not as many as we see in the books, but at least enough to be interesting.
Yeah,
I agree that we have the opportunity with these new Forsaken that have been released, right? And so suddenly they can have these things and have Lanfear go, "What? You have an Angreal? That's crazy!" And she's like, "I have 2. What do you mean? I'm the magic queen." And have it where, Lanfear didn't have one, but which is somewhat true to the books. With Grendel itself or Semiraj, where all they had was that streath dress that shows off when they're embarrassed or whenever they like would show their emotions.
Yeah.
Worst dress ever, right? Beth, would you wear something that showed if you were kind of frustrated at a grocery store?
I don't think I'd wear it to the grocery store.
Yeah.
But
like, all right, let's say you're at a play and you're like, this.
I would probably wear one because, like, I wear my emotions openly anyway. So, I mean, like,
also though, to be able to walk around and like, let's say like to being calm, like inwardly calm is like a neutral color. Being able to just display inward calmness all the time, even in a thing, could be like, that would be like a status symbol or something that, So like if you wore one of those dresses and it was just always a neutral color, that would be interesting. Light Blinded Fool asked if he thinks that we're going to get the glass columns in Tier. I think they're going to still be in Meridian. I don't think we're going to see Tier until season 4. And I think instead of when they come out of the Blight, coming out of the Blight into Kyrian, I think they're going to come out of the Blight into Tier.
You mean the IO Waste?
Yeah, the IO Waste. My bad. I'm still focused on the Blight in the show because I'm still upset about it. But when they come out of the Waste in season at the end of either at the end of season 3 or at the beginning of season 4, is when they'll go into Tier instead of going into Kyrian. And we're still, but to answer the question, the glass columns will still be in Meridian.
All right, so I'm not good at predictions because I don't follow things where it's like, oh, they've been filming in Madagascar. That means
I don't follow that stuff either, honestly.
But I don't see, besides the prophecy itself that the Stone of Tyr will fall, I don't see why Tyr has to be there.
Agree. I agree with you 100%.
I think we can move all that to Camelin, where and it will provide some drama between Elaine, the daughter heir, and all this. But I can see it being Andor that falls instead of.
Well, not Andor, because they'd have to cross half the continent to get there.
No one knows how close anything is. They're like, oh, they need to go to Falm. They're in Kyrian. Our first time, or our non-readers are like, is that like a week? Is that
but they showed the map. Like, there's a lot of the Kyrian is right in between Camelin and the whole country.
Yeah, they don't.
No, they have the map on Amazon of the. And it's
but the average viewer is not going to go get it on Amazon and research.
No, but they're not going to change it. They're not going to be they're not going to move 2 cities. Yeah,
I agree. I mean,
I think like how Matt showed up there, it was baffling. Our kids were like, oh,
they used the one power. I mean, like magic, obviously, but the
it's baffling.
Like if they can move the events of Tyr to Kyrian. I think that's more plausible. But I think they're like, if they want to I think they're going to want to introduce a new city, and I think it'll be Tyr. Like, they like introducing new things and new seasons because it's a big production to do that. Look at this new set that we built. We didn't just reuse the same set last year. Like, they don't like to do that in shows like all the time. We only have two major cities that we've seen so far. Tarvalon and Kyrian, really. Like, we saw Faldara, but that's not really a major city, and Falm isn't a major city. Kyrian and Tarvalon are the only two that we've really seen.
But Tom, to your point, Kyrian, nothing really happened there. It was a city, but I mean, besides like all that stuff, there's still lots of plot line that can happen there.
It would make sense to go back to Kyrian to see the Foregate utterly destroyed.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, they could move the events of Tyr to Kyrian. That's a thing that they could do. Yeah, I just think they're not going to do that. I think they're going to keep Tyr. They're just not, when they come out of the Isle Waste, they're not going to come into Kyrian. They're going to come into Tyr instead and do the stuff from book 3 in season 4 at the end of maybe at the end of season 3, and it'll happen in Tyr. Like, instead of them raiding Kyrian, they'll raid Tyr and raid this, and that all of that shit will happen in that season. Seeing that as they're jumping into the IO Waste already. Like, they have to come back out. And when they come back out, that's...
The pacing of the show is so baffling to me that I don't know if we're going to get a lot of things at all
Well, they have to come out. So like when they come out, they have to come out somewhere, and it's going to be either Kyrian or Tyr. So
right.
Either one is 50-50. I just think they're going to want to build a new city and show like, oh, look at this great new thing
coming up.
Hopefully, yeah.
In theory.
I mean,
so it might be that they just go south from Tolman Head, follow them. And I guess the Two Rivers is just east. I don't know.
Ooh.
Are we going to get the Two Rivers again next week or next season?
I kind of hope so. So Fed, just to give you a heads up, we are full book spoilers. So if you're only about a quarter of the way through book 1, we are doing full book spoilers. So just to give you a little
oh man, but I'm proud of you. I love you. Keep up this thing. Right now might not be the best show for you though.
Yeah, but stick around if you don't care about spoilers. We'll try to like give you a little bit of a warning.
Yeah. Well, all right. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I think we're gonna definitely see some Two Rivers action, at least from the White Cloaks, because Dane is
that's setting up the whole that the show totally perfectly set up.
I agree.
Dane Bornhold is combined with Childbuyer.
Yeah,
he's gonna go to Ter'angreal. Paden Fane has fallen in with the White Cloak crowd. All of that storyline is gonna go down, and
I think so too.
I think that was probably one of the best laid plot lines for season 2 to season 3. I think that one of the things that was the frustrating for me with the ending of season 2 is that where are all the other Aiel from the bands, like the hunting bands that have come out to go search for?
I really wanted to see Roark
elsewhere. We'll see them. Well,
I know. So I guess that's going to be the question. Yeah. But they're like as far east as you can literally go right now.
Yeah.
And like that's my thing. That's my thing. And so like, how are they all going to converge and all the Aiel get together?
Well, when they announce that the dragon has been reborn, and I'm sure the Aiel will probably be able to get a word out that, like Avienda said, the Ka Karn, like that's the Ka Karn.
Maybe that's how we're going to find out about Dreamwalkers, because the Aiels, the wise ones communicate with the clan chiefs through dreams. So maybe.
And they were like, listen, Avienda is in Falm and she's traveling to the race with the Ka Karn. Go meet her in this city over here.
Yeah. And that's entirely possible.
Yeah.
But yeah.
See, and back to Fane and the White Cloaks for a second, because I saw Glenn mention them again. So I think we're going to get a more erratic Fane too, because Fane.
I hope so.
And now we're just talking about season 2 instead of Ter'angreal and Angreal. But
whoops.
Yeah, but we'll get back on track in a minute.
And look, suddenly we have more people watching. It's so weird.
Yeah, but I think we're going to get a more erratic Fane, because he seemed to be following Ishamael more than he was like a dark friend. Like he seemed to be more of a follower of Ishamael, in my opinion. And now that Ishamael's gone, he's probably going to feel a little rudderless, and he's either going to try to snatch power for himself, or he's going to start to go a little crazy. And him latching onto the White Cloaks as they flee Falm makes sense. Like that makes perfect sense.
Well, I think we're going to start seeing the ramifications of him not having the dagger.
That too. Yeah, that would be great. And then now he has to go to Tarvalon to steal it. Like that would be
right. Like that's really I think him having the dagger,
though,
and Ishi kept him in check. So now he's lost Ishi and he's lost the dagger. So the gloves are off, right? All the restraint is gone. And I mean, I hope so, because I felt he was so underused this season.
I just love Johan Meyer.
It's amazing.
No, every scene he's in, I can't stop watching him. Hello, Iris. You make a really good point. And Fane actually knows his inner thoughts. He's like, or his plan. He's like, well, you need Rand to break the wheel, right? I mean, so he knows the big picture. Right. It seems like there's an intimacy between the two when they're talking.
And that's what he wants too. He doesn't want power or anything. He wants to break the wheel. He wants to kill Rand. He wants to do all the stuff. So,
see, this is where I kind of disagree with you. I think that him attaching the dagger to a pole is now his weapon.
His Ashendare.
See him getting the Ashendare. It would seem frivolous. It would seem dumb for him to get the exact same weapon in a different form. He
Not the same
created
weapon.
the
It's not
weapon.
the same weapon.
Come on.
It's not.
On screen.
Oh.
It would kind of look the same.
I don't know. I mean, they can make it look very different.
I don't think the Aes Sedai, knowing that what they know about that dagger, are just going to let Matt run around with that dagger.
He'll be like Spartan. He'll be like, "Come and take it."
No.
Isn't that the now the Greek army theme is from the Spartans when they're like, lay down your weapons, and they're like, yeah, come and take them.
I have no idea.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
But the depictions of the Ashendare in a lot of like art and the way it's described is a sword blade at the end of a staff. Mm-hmm. So like it's going to be way bigger, and it doesn't have to be like a sword as in like, coming out to like a triangular point. It could be like a big sweeping blade. It could be all different kinds of patterns to make it look very different. I think they're going to get Ashendare. I don't think he's going to be keeping that dagger.
Yeah, that's where I disagree. But guys, I don't know how to do. Ryan's not here. I don't know how to do a poll. Go ahead and say Ashendare, yes or no.
Yeah, I can't log it. You have to open it up in. I don't have the login for YouTube, but you have to be in YouTube today.
Yeah, no, I don't. Come on, techno.
The
kids.
Whatchamacall?
Ashendare.
But no. I want to get back to items of the one power.
Yeah, please. This is a nice transition.
But talking about the show and items of the one power, we could items that were introduced in the show that were also introduced in the book. So the Adam is one, and for one personally, I like that they took the idea of the later Adam, like when they changed him and removed the leash. I like that they kind of put them together, and it kind of has the leash, but it kind of doesn't. And the Adam itself, like the collar part of it, actually has a physical latch for a real leash too, if you want to use it. So I like that I like the way they did it in the show. I like it better.
I agree. I like that there was a metaphysical leash. They had a collar, they had a bracelet, but then when it was connected, it was like a magical leash that just kind of grew.
Yeah. When they were exerting their control over the.
So I like that a bit. I think it was aesthetically more pleasing, and I mean just practical as well, just kind of giving them.
Yeah, could you imagine two people being chained together, wrist to neck on the battlefield? Like that would be, like the logistics of that would be terrible. Like, if someone falls down, like that, it's no good. Especially like, having to have people on horseback. If you put a Suldam on a horse with the Damane on the horse, now the Suldam's like this riding, like, come on.
Right.
That's a visual.
Yeah, it's a visual. But yeah, no, I think it makes a lot more sense. The only part of the Adam change from the book to the show is I feel like they kind of broke their own rules.
How so?
Elaborate.
Like Egwene was able to resist orders before she collared Rena. Like I always imagine the Adam like being like a temporary oath rod, and the way the oath rod exhibited its power over Moiraine, I thought was perfect, and I would have imagined the Adam doing the same thing. Like if a Suldam gave a Damane an order or influence through the thing, they wouldn't be able to resist.
I don't think that's the case, because why else would they punish them for resisting?
Well,
they use the item as a means of punishment for not following orders.
But not being able, like it was mainly just the one power part of it. Like, when she was refusing to channel. That was the part that kind of bothered me.
No,
like
same thing, because Egwene in the Great Hunt, when Rena tells her, see that tree way out there? Yeah. I want you to use the power, and she didn't use the power, and Rena knew she didn't use the power using the Idom. She didn't force Egwene
No, but when they use it, like she could let Egwene use the one power to do something, but when they are controlling them and like weaving through them, they are in control.
Right, but the demone has to open the link first. And if they don't, they're not. The item doesn't. The pain of punishment is what causes them to use the power. Okay. It's not. We have to remember that the Shanshan demone are conditioned from birth that this is their role, so they don't look at it as slavery. They look at it as their place in this caste-like society is to be this. It's only the women who are captured in Randland that resist using the item.
Right, but Tom does make a good point where they go to the training ground and she says, "Don't worry, Egwene, I got this." And it seems that Rena is the one that compels.
I don't think so, because I think Egwene wants to touch the one power. You have to remember how seductive the one power is, and she cannot use it without Rena's permission. But that doesn't mean that Rena can take control of Egwene's ability to harness the one power. Egwene's still got to be the person to channel, to embrace the source. And
isn't the Suldam the one that actually weaves the weaves?
Yes, but she can't weave the weaves until the person, the demone, embraces the source.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Egwene was channeling, like she was shooting fireballs, and then she stopped, which means she had control over that, which is the part that makes no sense to me.
Well, no, because the Suldam tells her what to do, but doesn't actually do it.
I thought it was the Suldam that was actually doing the weaving of the one power.
Well, I don't think so.
So I watched the Amazon thing with the vision impaired, voiceover as it goes, and it says that Egwene looks down in the crowd and sees Valda, and then she shoots fireballs. And then she sees that people are suffering.
I understand. Like that's the way they did it in the show. I'm saying in the books, though, that's not the way it worked. In the books, the Suldam are the one that were controlling the one power, and that's the change that they made from the book to the
Beth, I think that it is that they break these people, so it's not compulsed; it's being broken. They can resist until they can no longer resist.
Right.
I think it's through repeated punishments. Some people, they lose their name, they lose their tongue, they lose all kinds of things because they are resistant. And if it's not like the one power you can't, or the oath rod where you just can't do it. I think it's you have your own will.
So I just checked the thing for the Adam. The wearer of the bracelet has complete control over the wearer of the necklace in the one power. It creates a forced link between the two. Is what it says.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
In the books, in the show, I think it's different, and that's the part that I don't like.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. I like the way I don't like it.
See, I like that they did that. See, this is the thing, though, from a show point of view.
Yeah.
Every time Egwene is collared and she accesses the one power, you see the sense of bliss that comes over her because she's able to touch the one power. It's a visual tool to show the seductiveness of embracing the source. And even though she's miserable, the only time she wants to touch. So even though she doesn't want to, I think for from a show point of view, I thought it was very compelling. I thought it made a lot of sense.
But that doesn't change. Like that doesn't change. Like the fact the function's the same in the book too, where she touches the one power. She feels that she is channeling. Yeah. It's just she is out of control of it. She can't control it. That's the only part that I.
Well, let me ask you a further question along these same lines. Should Egwene have been able to put the collar on Rena?
I don't know. That's so weird. It's just that whole scene, it was cool, and I really liked it. From an outsider looking in, fucking get that bitch.
But she did harm to her. I mean,
it was weird. It was a weird rule.
But this is the thing, though. The question is, and the only person who can answer this would be Egwene's inner self, was she putting the collar on Rena to cause her harm, or was she putting the collar on Rena because she thought that Rena needed to be chained because she could channel? Like I think that's the thing. As long as Egwene didn't look at the collar as a weapon, there would be no reason why she couldn't do it.
There's no reason to think that she didn't, though. She said, "I will kill you, Rena," and then watched her.
But you can't prove a negative, though. So,
but she didn't. But she never said how she was going to kill her, and she didn't know she was going to get that was going to be the opportunity. And she looked at it as a way to subdue Rena, not to kill Rena.
The fact that she was able to hurt Rena still is the
yes,
part
I agree, because Rena in that whole thing was very.
It was wonky.
It was like Egwene's collar or Egwene's bracelet counteracted Rena's bracelet, and the power
dynamic. Then shouldn't it work the other way too? But then she's stronger. I get what you're saying because she's stronger.
I mean, it doesn't make sense to me. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
and I personally hated that Rena died because Sita died and Rena died, and I hated that because they're remaining alive.
Where is our Egyanin? I'm telling you,
I need someone to tell me when Cara Gee is going to be on set, because that's who's going to have to be Egyanin, because that's my headcanon right there. Cara Gee as Egyanin. Like, bring it.
The like, and not that like I'm a like a book purist or anything, because I'm definitely not. It's just like I don't like when they break their own rules, like how they made the rules in the show and then they broke them, and that's the part that frustrates me. Well, because now I don't know what to like. I can't
stabbed by the dagger. I mean, to a
certain
degree,
there's a lot of stuff with the dagger that is weird. Why does the dagger function as a lightsaber? Why was no one concerned when there were just tendrils of horrible death crawling across the box that the horn was in? Like, did they stop growing? What happened to those things? Like, did they shrivel up and die? Like, where did they go? Like, there's a lot of questions.
I think there's a couple people that looked at it and like exchanged looks and just shrugged. They're like, I don't know.
Looks cool. All right.
It's weird. I don't think that's the way it's supposed to go.
But I agree. They haven't made them. They had. I don't think they will, so that they could be loose enough, so that they could make things fit to certain situations. But I feel like they made the rules for the Adam pretty clear of the way they function and stuff, and it just, I don't know, it was weird. The double collar thing like has always been a question like on people's minds, like in the Wheel of Time. Like I've heard this question 100 times over the last 20 years. But like it's never been done, so like I this could just be Rafe's way of being like, hey, we tried it. This is what we thought would happen if we did it, because that has been a question like in theories for years and years and years within the Wheel of Time fandom, and we know Rafe has been a part of that for a long time. So.
When talking about book to show, I am going to make some bold statements now. I don't think that
are they about Ter'angreal and Ter'angreal?
Yes, I do not think that Elaine will be creating Angreal.
They set that up already, though.
I don't think it's going to happen.
I think you're wrong.
Okay, but would you agree that they've started setting up that to happen?
But it might be, but I unless we start seeing a flood of magical items, it doesn't make sense. It just makes sense where she just wanted to know how to open it, and they're like, oh, I think you have to do it with someone on, you need to heal them. So to a certain degree it led as much to healing someone of things than it was the Angreal itself.
No, because they also said when she's in the White Tower, she says she likes to fix things or tinker with things. What was the verbiage?
Things apart.
Yeah,
tinker. She definitely says tinker. Tinker was in there.
So
and the way and she was the one that figured out the Adam, like when she was looking at the Adam, she was the one that got a little bit more depth to it.
Yeah, I mean, it could be, but I don't think that we're going to see. I think Hadswain's going to have some. I think that I don't think we're going to see that many like Angreal though.
Well, we don't see that many Angreal in the books. When you think about it, when you think about the hundreds and hundreds of people who can channel, we don't see very many Angreal.
Couple dozen, maybe.
Right. Huh. I mean, we could name them off. The rings that Nynaeve gets, Cadsuane's,
the fat man,
the little ring that Grendel has that she got in the stasis box. Vor's Ter'angreal, Sakarnin, the bracelet that Moraine gets from her time when she's kidnapped from the, saved from the Finn.
Yeah.
And
the ivory seated woman.
Right. And yes, that's the one with the hair, right? That Yeah. So I mean there's like 10 to 15, maybe 20 Ter'angreal mentioned in the entire series. So I don't think
maybe. Yeah.
So I don't think that, and there's really not the only slew of magical items that we have in the entire book is when the veil is lifted off of Ruidian and we see all of them.
And they barely use those. Like they don't use that many.
They don't really even use those either. So I don't think
so what Ter'angreal will we see in the show then? We'll see the glass columns, correct?
Yeah, I think we'll see the glass columns.
We'll see Kalendor.
We'll see Kalendor. I think we'll see Mahalinar eventually.
Yeah.
I think
except that's a power weapon. That's not a Ter'angreal, but
it has the fire enchantment.
Will we see?
Doesn't mean it's a Ter'angreal.
It's an item crafted with the one power that has a specific purpose. Does a thing.
Smashing people's heads in.
But also lighting them on fire. I thought it was
that's an item. But that's a power weapon.
Yeah, I agree. But the Ashendari will come up. Power wrought items.
We'll definitely see. We'll see Matt's fox-headed medallion.
Yeah, we have to see that. Will it function the same way? Maybe not. Will it kill Golem? I don't know. But he'll get it, and it'll do something.
And it'll make it. It will keep him immune from being attacked with the power. That's going to be his. What's that thing I'm thinking of?
His nemesis.
No, his
girlfriend.
No, it doesn't matter. Keep going. Let's go.
But I mean, there's a lot of what did Nomen. There's the holding in tier. Tar-Valon has their own big storeroom.
The storeroom with the kin. That's another. Yeah. I mean, there's there's a lot of places.
Yeah, but I'm sure we'll get a couple. We'll get a couple.
We'll get the Bowl of the Winds. We'll get. But we're not gonna.
We'll get the Bowl of the Winds. You think? That will be hard to fill.
I hope not.
Guys. It's hard to bring to. You know what? Maybe we'll just call it the Bowl of the.
I hope not. I don't like that whole story arc.
The bowl that spins.
I mean, they haven't. You know what? They haven't referenced the weather being weird at all yet. So maybe.
Right.
Yeah, there has been no reference really at all.
Yeah.
But
now that all the seals are broken, maybe we'll start seeing bubbles of evil and things like that.
I think if anything, we're going to start seeing more references to the Ter'angreal as they were functioning in the Age of Legends.
There's another Ter'angreal that they had in Shanshan.
Yes.
Blood rings.
The blood rings. Ugh.
And the crystal throne itself, but yeah.
But I think what we'll see is maybe the Forsaken that are now unleashed on the world are going to be the doorway into explaining more of the Ter'angreal or seeing things as they were in the Age of Legends, because they're, when they have their meetings and stuff. And
so since we get our Age of Legends flashbacks in episode 8 of every series so far, is that when they're going to go into the glass columns in episode 8? Because that'll be our flashback.
No, I think that's going to be a mid-season thing.
Yeah, probably. I just thought it was funny. So do you think? Well, no, let's not. That's a different show for a different time. All right, so so not that many. We're thinking.
So what Ter'angreal are we yet to see? I had mentioned the Twisted Doorway. Are we going to the Finns?
I don't know.
I honestly don't know. I don't think we are. Personally, I think it's one more element that's just going to confuse show watchers.
It's confusing to people who don't know like the depth of the metaphysics of the Wheel of Time and the interdimensional travel and stuff like that. Like it's I don't know. We could, and they could go into it, but like I feel like it'll fully depend on how much like they need to cover in season 3, and if they could fit in something that is technically not really that important. But on the flip side of that, are they going to make Moraine and Lanfear like thing be
Right.
completely different? Are they going to die? Are they not going to die? Are they going to? Yeah. So
I mean, in all of the foreshadowing that we've seen of Matt, whenever Matt's been dead, he's been missing an eye, like in Nynaeve's accepted test, all those things. So like the foreshadowing is there, right? Giving up the light of the world to save the world, like, or half the light of the world to save
and
the
he
world.
was hung. He was hung in his little
Right. So I mean, the
vision, too.
foreshadowing is definitely there. I just don't know with show times, run times, episode counts, how effectively they're going to be able to pull that off. I don't know. I mean, I would love to see it if it's done well. I think that's the thing. If they could do it well, then bring it, right?
Yeah, and I totally agree with you. It's going to be confusing if they don't explain it well, and in that case, doing it well, like, is part of that. But like, it'll be confusing to people who haven't read the books if they just walk through a doorway into another dimension, I guess. I mean, but at the same time, maybe not. Like, I don't know. Like, especially if they do it after the glass columns, because like, oh, okay, they went into a thing and then they went somewhere else. And the arches, they went into a thing and went somewhere else. Maybe this is that real, or is it another fake world?
Right.
You know, who knows?
Right.
I hope we see Matt hanging from a tree. I think that was our Easter egg, was that it was a past life that perhaps that he hung from a tree. But
I like, well, I mean, it's, you know, because I really think they're bringing, you know, Rafe always said this is another turning of the wheel. I think that's more than just like propaganda. I think this is really another turning of the wheel. I think at some point we're gonna see something in like a flashback or something like that, or a reference to something that is unequivocally something that happened in the books from a prior age, and the show that we're watching is just the Wheel of Time coming around again back to the same point that we read in the books.
How exhausting!
I mean, that's I agree.
Which is why Shamayo wants to kill everybody.
Right.
He's like, I'm done. So what do we have in our current households now that could be considered Ter'angreal, or Ter'angreal? Well, I guess Ter'angreal. But eliminate the fact that it's like one power created. What do we have that's magic, I guess, now? That anything?
Lighters, drills,
the internet is
lava lamps.
anything that works off electricity,
a microwave.
Well, not really, because they do start inventing generators and motors in the books too. But
I'm looking around me right now to see what
computers. I mean, to a point, you know, like storing information on
charger.
On things, cordless charging, things like that. But all of that stuff can be explained with science, and science happens in the Wheel of Time as well. So
and science is just magic that's not explained yet.
Yeah,
you are correct. I mean, if I showed up in the Middle Ages and whipped out a lighter,
they would think you were a wizard. Depending on where you were, they may kill you. So.
Right.
They probably would kill you.
Tom, you and I, we'd show up. We're like 2 feet taller than these people. We have.
I know.
Come on, you and I would be gone.
We would instantly be like hailed as like leaders just because of our height.
We bring Beth, and they're like, purple hair.
What is going on here?
Like,
actually, I read
from her ears.
I read this smut book once.
Ooh.
That had to do with this, with like, it was kind of like, it was a cheesy version of Diane Gulbottom's Highlander stuff, whatever her series is called. But no, it was like, this girl she goes back in time to the 1200s, and she brings a Walkman with her, and an archaeological dig finds the Walkman.
That would be funny.
And
that is funny. Yeah.
Like it's like, how did this Walkman get there? You know,
someone had to put it there.
Right.
The whole butterfly effect too. Like,
but it was a smut novel. There was lots of good sex scenes in it. I don't remember what it was called, but anyway, sorry.
Outlander.
No, it's a different series. It was a different.
No, but I mean, it was based off of that.
Yeah, it was because this was written before Outlander.
Oh, okay.
So this is like when I was like 23.
Got it.
22. So
I like Outlander.
Long time ago. Anyway, so
I was trying to put on some sexy music while Beth described the book, but
okay.
This is called Sexy Electronic. I'm not sure if it.
Sexy story time.
You should read at Jordan Con they do a late night panel where they read like aloud smut books. You should join and read one. Paul usually reads them. I read one once, but everyone is usually very drunk also, by the way.
I am.
It's the only panel where the panelists are allowed to be drunk.
That's amazing.
Son of a bitch, I'm in.
Too bad I'm not going to Jordan Con this year.
Oh,
Boo, you?
Yeah.
That's boo, man.
Sorry, it's called finances
It's called life. Yeah.
in life. Yeah.
Must
Lucky
make a
to have
hard
a job
choice.
right now. Anyway, sorry. Okay. Ter'angreal.
Well, what else do we want to bring up? Is there anything that we didn't touch upon?
I don't know.
You had in your
We'll
notes?
see.
I know you guys
Let's.
have bigger
If anyone in chat has any specific Ter'angreal or Sangreal or just a topic on Ter'angreal, Sangreal, or Angreal that you want us to talk about before we get off, post it and we'll star it and we'll continue for a little bit longer. And
Okay, I have a question.
shoot.
What do you think was more powerful, Vor's Rod or Sarkhannon?
I don't. Did they go up against each other?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mazrim
right.
Time was wielding
Right.
it when Egwene was using Vor's Rod.
I don't know. Was Mazrim, but it was because it also
It was
takes,
Demandred's, and he
Yeah.
gave it to Mazrim Time
yeah
to get
But-
rid of Egwene.
But you have to take into account the channeler too. So was Egwene stronger than Mazrim Taine? Maybe
I don't think so.
I don't
well,
know.
but Egwene was willing to die. Mazrim Time was not.
So that's
So yes, I
the
think-
caveat.
Oh, and I hope to God there's no non-book people in here. I'm really sorry for what I just said.
We got the spoiler warnings up.
That's true.
No, we're fine. This is all spoiler. And you know what, Beth? to
Tim
your
was an
point,
idiot though. He was.
can't
You're right.
Coach Hart.
Can't coach Hart. Miles and miles of Hart. Now I want to watch the fucking replacement.
That's Egwene. You can't coach Hart.
You can't. You
No.
can't.
She does.
It's just a
Determination,
weave.
Hart.
She will not tap out.
Oh, that was my favorite scene in all of the books.
Same.
Almost. Was
Same.
when Perrin was like, it's just a
weave.
just a world of dreams. Crazy.
Aaron, watch out.
He
He's
fucks
like,
off.
what?
He's like, nah, I'll just catch that shit. You know, fuck it, that's a weave.
It's just a weave. And then that's the last thing she thought. That was when in the books when she was channeling and she knew she was going to die. Perrin's voice came to her and said, "It's just a weave."
Yeah,
and
that's
I
great.
get goosebumps just thinking about it.
Me too. And I gotta.
so good.
I'm gonna. Now I gotta re-listen to A Memory of Light. I'm gonna just re-listen to A Memory of Light.
Welcome, Christopher.
Will we see the Fat Man again?
I'd love to see Maureen with.
That's a good
great
question.
I hope so. I hope we get to see some more. Like I said, I personally think we're going to see more Sangreal or Angreal
Angreal
and Ter'angreal.
Some.
And I hope we do see it again. I mean, Beth's argument is 100% valid that they don't want, like, you know, it's just one thing that they don't need to like invest money and stuff into. But I really hope we get them. I hope we get them.
I do too. I would love to have them. If they're done well, then bring it. But don't make a whole bunch of Xbox, Trollocs again. Right? Like
yeah.
No Xbox Trollocs hashtag.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean,
as long as they do stuff well. I mean, and a lot of the effects of Ter'angreal can be invisible. Like, you know what I mean? Like they'd be like, oh, the room's warmer, or the fire started. You know, they don't have to be crazy elaborate things.
But I don't think we would see Ter'angreal for mundane things.
No, maybe not. But like that could be that could just be in the like stuff in the stores of crap, or how the Forsaken go looking for stasis boxes and like
right, and then
like,
they open stasis.
Yeah,
right.
I kill for a glow bulb. You know what I mean? Like
it's like the
just a light
coolest
bulb.
geocache ever, right?
Right.
Stasis box.
Right. Right.
Do you guys ever?
What magical items does Cat Swain have?
No,
Cat Swain has
Kay,
a lot.
Get out, Kay.
Hey, you get out of here, Kay.
Why?
You because she's not done you with the get out, Kay. I love you. Get out. Get out.
Hey, we're gonna read about that this book. beautiful numbskull. Don't.
I love you, Kay.
And you can stay here whenever you want.
Oh, it's Ryan.
Oh, it's Ryan.
Oh, it's Ryan. This is Ryan.
Okay. Ryan, your hair looks different when it's purple.
It does. Catsway has a lot of like the paralysis net isn't one thing though. It's lots of things.
It's a well. She can tell when a man is channeling.
That's two different ones. There's an Ter'angreal on it. I know that.
There's an Ter'angreal, and I don't know if there's any.
There's the ones with the two crescent moons facing each other, and it causes flows to like dissipate around Cadswain, but I don't remember exactly what it does. It functions like Matt's Foxhead, but not exactly like it.
There's one that like she can tell if someone's wearing underwear.
It's the Mormon.
The Amish ring.
I guess we could just look it up.
No, I'm there right now. You're absolutely right. So the bird that looks like a shrike is an Ter'angreal. The intertwined crescents works like Matt's Foxhead medallion. There's a hummingbird that's a well. The Ter'angreal in the shape of an 8-pointed star detects the ability of a man to channel. One that looks like a swallow detects the use of a very small amount of sighting in Sardar within as much as 3 miles. 6-pointed star is thin armor against the skin of the wearer.
That's so cool. She has a deployable shield. She has a shield.
Fish enables the wearer to pull someone else into an involuntary circle. So it's like a minor IDOM.
Fuck.
Shadowed moon, a full moon disc with a part chiseled, leaving a brightly burnished crescent. Its use is unknown. So there's 3 that we don't know what the uses of them were.
That's Catswain is gangster as fuck. Oh my, she has a shield. She has a personal physical shield that is so cool.
Mm-hmm.
I really hope Shorey is Catswain and not Elida.
So Nynaeve's ring set is the jeweled belt that's the well, a golden ring that lets her know when Sidar or Sidene is being channeled, a gold ring when in the presence of someone feeling anger or hostility, the Ter'angreal will turn cold so she can sense moods.
Yeah, which is good if someone's like lying to you or like they want to kill you or something.
So a golden bracelet with fine red stones. Nynaeve tells Randonland that this Ter'angreal gives her armor better than steel, so it's very similar to.
Better though, it's better.
Yeah.
That's so cool. It's so cool.
Yeah. That is a level up for sure.
See, that's the kind of shit that I want to see. I want to see that shit in the show. Like that, I want to see that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I want like her to tap that ring that gives her armor, and I want to see physical armor grow on her, or I want it to just be like,
You want to see her have an Iron Man moment?
Yeah, I want to see her turn into Colossus from fucking X-Men. I want to just see, like just come across her skin. Like that.
Her paralysis called Jarvis.
Oh man, could you imagine if it like gave you a HUD? That would be pretty cool.
Oh my god.
Oh man, I kind of want to write fucking fan fiction now.
I want to see like True Magic. I want them to go somewhere and like people are like cooking breakfast, like Harry Potter stuff, where like things are cooking breakfast and doing things like.
I don't think we'll ever see the power manipulated that way.
Well, when we get to the Ashaman are taught to use the one power for everything. So maybe we'll see it there.
Maybe.
Yeah, like because they're being forced,
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. This has been a really fun talk. I'm really bummed that London had to bounce.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll get her again.
Shake our fist at the
and London is knowledgeable as fuck about the Wheel of Time stuff.
Oh yeah.
I had some conversations with her at WatCon and it was amazing. Like I just love meeting people who deep dive like that.
Mm-hmm.
And just fantastic.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of conventions is going and meeting people that like we get a little insular within our community
Right.
And a convention like allows, like, you're like, oh wow, there's a lot of fans here, and you get to meet all different kinds of people. And Len and I really, I appreciated her points of view. She's witty and funny as heck, and I'm sorry that she wasn't on longer, but we'll get her back on, and we'll get to know her better. But in the meantime, this has been The Way of the Leaf. This is Tom. This is Beth. I'm Ryan's brother, Dan. Come back next week. We'll be talking about something fun. Jansen and Ryan hopefully will be joining us. And like and subscribe, do all that thing. We have a Patreon, we have a Discord, we have a Twitter. So does Tom, so does Beth. So please seek everyone out. I think stuff is in the description. Until next time, I love you and I'm proud of you. Thank you for spending your time with us. I really do appreciate you. And run for your lives, because that is the way of the leaf.